So I clicked the ad and I thought about it, and I'm a bit of a procrastinator, and I put the ad in the drawer, in my bedroom dresser drawer. Didn't answer it. And then 3 weeks later I thought, oh, I should have answered that ad. So I did. And I mailed it in, and I got a phone call. Well, this is Dr. Shaw. He said, what took you so long? Just out of the blue. And I was really befuddled. And so I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, aren't you the one who sent me the application? And I said, oh, yes. And he said, I'm just about to hire a nurse for that job, and now you send yours in. So I still didn't get it. And he said, I've had 2 KGH grads over the years, and if you are really a KGH grad, you're hired.
We formed lifelong friendships, and I think that was in part due to the fact that we lived together in residence for 3 years. And it was a comforting place to be in residence. For instance, the very first time you had a death, you'd come back to residence and everyone would gather around in your room and help you through it. And then, of course, it was a great place to borrow each other's clothes and have lots of fun times. So, and there was such a camaraderie between the doctors and the nurses and the interns. The interns would come, they would help us. They would help, make beds or something like that if you were really busy. Of course, we helped them too because we knew what should be done. And when they would come and make rounds, they'd sort of look over at the nurse who was there to give them a clue as to what should be done or what the lab results were. We just had signals for that. So those were the 3 years in residence were very special to me, and as I said, we formed lifelong friendships, and to this day we keep in touch.
We worked from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, and we worked night duty without any time off for 7 weeks. We worked from 7 at night till 7 in the morning, and we didn't. Everybody else that was at that time was doing it too, so we weren't abused.
Yeah.
We didn't think anyway.
And one of my memories was working in ICU with Dr. Peter Moran. And at that time, we were pioneering the membranes for dialysis. And so the first thing we did, we had a side room which we used for isolation. So we sort of put a washing machine in there, just the tub of the washing machine, and we had an extra large sink in there where we would wash the membranes by hand. And then eventually we got it so that we could put them in the machine. The machine could do it. That's how it was done. That one to me was, pioneering.
When I was in training, we did go to the OR, and you were there 3 months, and you had to do so many different kinds of scrubs. And that's where you really learned good surgical technique, and not until then that you actually practiced it every minute that you were there.
Because as soon as you touched something, it was contaminated.
Yeah.
That was it.
Miss Blair's big hand come and drag you back.
And she was classmate or graduated a year ahead, or I guess behind my mother, Miss Margaret Blair.
Oh yeah.
She was a great big redhead.
Yes, and she was,
Yeah.
But I think, we were taught by the doctors.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've had a really good foundation.
I am privileged to be the last class of KGH graduates, so 1974. So this year too will be a milestone. It will be our 40th reunion come June this year. We will have a pretty good turnout coming back. A few people are still in Kingston. So we were much different in the 70s. We had a 2-year program, and most of us lived in the, now it's the Queen's Building, across the street on King Street, in the brand new tower that had just come into existence. I think it was around 1969 or 1970. We were about the 3rd year that when I started in this brand new building. So it was quite different from what most of these ladies experienced at that time. Things were not quite as controlled. We did have to sign in and out at the front desk.
And remember in February when we progressed, we had the capping ceremony.
Yeah.
So we had to recite the now I have that in case you need that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Nightingale pledge.
Yes, yeah.
That was a really
Can
big
you all
deal.
recite it still?
A nurse from KGH is hard to beat. She's just 100% from head to feet. She's got a smile, a winning way. No matter where you go, you'll recognize her way and say, now there's a girl I'd like to know. She's got that KGH, get up and go. And when you look at her, it's quite a treat. It's hard to beat a nurse from KGH.